guys, welcome to another episode of LJ. Hold on, let me take this off. If you guys promise to stay 6 feet away from me, that is. Make sure you guys are staying healthy and safe out there in this world. There's a lot of craziness and pandemics and things going on, but do your part. Keep everyone safe, keep yourself safe, keep your family safe, and back to the scheduled programming. So, here we are. You guys are probably like, I've seen this car before. Well, you probably have if you've seen one of my most recent videos. This is another 2020 BMW X2. This is the xdrive28i, and I'm going to talk about a couple things, the pros, the cons, and now that I've seen this car for the second time, and this is a little bit of a different trim and setup and a couple things, so I'm going to point those out. But I want to kind of highlight my overall secondary thoughts on the BMW X2 now that I've spent even more time with it. So forgive me if you're like, I don't want to see this again. But, you know, I promise I'll try to make it a little entertaining. Just in a quick nutshell, quick little walk around, point out some key things, just kind of hit the hot spots and see if I feel the same way about this car that I did 2 months ago. So stay tuned and sit back, grab some popcorn, and let's get right into it. One of the first things that you'll notice is, unlike the black one that I reviewed, this one is a glacier silver metallic. It's a $550 option. I think this is a really great color. There's really not a BMW color I don't like other than the gross mocha browns. Maybe as I get older, I'll start to enjoy more of those brownish, beigeish, weirdish, goldish colors. But as you know, as I'm currently standing, I'm not a huge fan of those brown colors. They remind me of certain things, which I will not mention. But for those of you that like those brown colors, there's always those options. You can pay a little extra for that if you want. But I do like the silver, and I do like the black, and I do like the white. Those are my kind of go-to colors. It looks really good. You'll notice that on the front, I pointed this out last time, it's got the inverted kidney grille. Makes this car really unique. Other than that, normal front end, not really much to talk about. So I mentioned this last time, but I'm gonna hit it one more time. And what you'll notice is on the front end, it looks a lot like the BMW X1, which it shares all of that with. But then on this side, you'll notice that it looks completely different. What is this, a coupe, an SUV? Well, that's for you to decide. BMW says it's coupe-styled, compact SUV-style thing. I think it looks interesting. I'll leave it at that. What I do love is this BMW roundel, which they brought back. Other than that, everything I've said about this car still stands. I'm very confused. I'm not sure what the identity of this car is, but it is unique, and I'll give BMW that. So for those of you that like unique cars with a lot of personality, this fits the bill on the outside at least. You do miss out on a little bit of that headroom in the rear. That's kind of the sacrifice you make for the styling. Nothing new, stuff I've already pointed out on this one, but you do get this power hatch. This specific one is the xDrive. That's the big difference between that and the other one that I reviewed. So I'll let you know if it rides any different, but realistically, they're pretty much identical cars. The price point is worth it to get the xDrive. I would always recommend that over front wheel drive if you live in climates where you need it. If not, then I would save a little bit of money, go for like the convenience package and add a couple different options for the same price that it will cost to get all-wheel drive. I'm gonna hop in here and show you guys what it looks like for leg room. As of right now, I got the seat adjusted for me. I'm 5'9", and I'm sitting comfortably back here. I can stretch out a little bit, get comfortable. But what you can do is you do get a little bit of a recline, and so you can kind of tilt the seat back just a hair, and then you look up and enjoy this nice panoramic sunroof. How do you go about getting the sunroof, you might be wondering? Well, I will tell you. It's got what's called the convenience package, which actually has quite a bit of features. Not all of them are exciting. The most notable feature is, of course, going to be that panoramic sunroof. So what does that cost? About $2,300, and you get the panoramic sunroof. You get folding mirrors. That includes the comfort access package, so then you're now able to keep your keys in your pocket and unlock your doors remotely, just with your hand and gestures and all that good stuff. You guys know all about that. And for those of us with chronic back pain, this does include lower lumbar support. So that's a pretty nice touch to be able to control that. If you don't need lumbar support, well then I guess it doesn't matter and you're lucky. But as you get older, you probably will need that lumbar support. Quick little touch on the performance. 228 horsepower, 0 to 60 in about 6.4 seconds. It has an 8-speed automatic and gas mileage somewhere about 24, 25 city and about 30 to 31 miles per gallon on the highway. So respectable numbers. and it surprises you with how quick those 228 ponies actually get this car moving. So I'll touch on that a little bit more once I get behind the wheel. So my thoughts on the interior, I'd say 7 out of 10. It's a good place to be, it's comfortable, it's nice enough. It's not gonna be anything extravagant, you're not gonna fall in love, you're not gonna be amazed, you're not gonna be like, wow, but you're also gonna be like, this is nice, I like this, I can live with this. Everything in here I've touched on, and if you want a more in-depth review, go ahead and check out the other video that I did on this. I'll touch on this really quick, but let's go into safety features. These are what you get standard: frontal collision warning, pedestrian warning, and lane departure warning. My biggest pet peeve with this car is no blind spot monitoring, which I can't stress enough. It's something I wish BMW would include. Quick little things that I don't like as well. They removed the CD player, so they just put a big blank button in there, biggest blank button in the history of blank buttons. Transmission, shifters, standard. You got your unlock button there. If you don't know how to use one of these, it's really simple. Hold unlock, you can go into drive, one flick, and then you can hold unlock, goes into reverse, and when you're ready to drive again, one firm flick. But if you did a half a flick, that'll put you in neutral. Straight up BMW simple stuff. Park, done. Then on this left hand side, you've got your traction control off, which is a very important button, but again, this is all-wheel drive, so we're not going to kid around here and act like that's going to do a whole lot. You do have your couple different drive modes, so you go ahead and push that. That'll put you in Eco Pro at the very bottom, and then that'll put you in Comfort, one click up, and all the way at the very top you will be in Sport mode. Climate control duals, electric parking, normal iDrive system. Check out this crisp backup camera. I'm listening to some Diplo Revolution because I like me some dubstep style electronic music, so you know, if you're a fan of that, you know, we could be friends. Going back to the home page, you'll see that it's this modern, fancy new iDrive system that you'll find in all BMWs. Pretty easy to use, very intuitive. You do get navigation included and all that. So that's always a nice thing to have, but nobody really uses their navigation. We all use Android Auto or Apple CarPlay or use Waze or something along those lines. Unfortunately, no Android Auto because BMW doesn't support Androids like that. And it's okay, we'll talk about that in another time. Other than that though, I'm a big fan of everything that's going on. The gauge cluster is a little bit small, similar to what you find in all the smaller 2 Series and 1 Series and everything else in the past. Got your light controls on that side, nothing's really crazy. You can do the power trunk from here, and then you do have your unlock and lock buttons. Steering wheel controls are pretty standard. All stuff that is self-explanatory, very user-friendly. Yeah. I did forget to mention, you do get the heated seats as standard. Like I said, I've spent a lot of time with the X2 now, both in the last review, this review, and some time in between. I had it for probably a span of maybe a week or so. And a couple things that I love. I love the drivability. It feels really good. It's practical. There's plenty of space for most people day to day. You'll know if you get in this, as I said before, if you love it or hate it or need something bigger. It's pretty straight up clear-cut thing of, do I need a Tahoe, or if I need a Suburban, or if I need a Corolla. You don't really need me to tell you what you need. However, I will say some things that I do love. To continue that is you put it in sport mode, which I'll do that real quick, and you just get on it. Whew, listen to this baby purr. Oh my god. 228 horsepower, but it feels so darn good. Handling, it's not the tightest steering, but it's definitely not a, you know, pickup truck when it comes to handling. You can kind of whip it around corners, and the xDrive actually makes it so much more fun. And you know, the front wheel drive's a little different. I'm not saying front wheel drive cars are boring or any less exciting, but I will say that rear wheel drive and all wheel drive create a different dynamic, let's put it that way. I love looking up and seeing the sunroof, and I think for $2,300 getting the keyless entry, getting this panoramic sunroof, that's kind of hard to beat, you know. Most manufacturers don't do the panoramic sunroofs without charging you an arm and a leg, and I feel like for that included bundled package, even though you're getting certain weird things like auto dimming mirrors or lumbar support, I feel like the rest of those things are still nicely bundled together, and they make sense, and it's a great value, as Nissan would put it, or super value, as Nissan would put it. But, you know, we'll apply that same logic to all of this. The sunroof is amazing. I'm gonna keep harping on that because it opens up this cabin. With that coupe styling, you lose a little bit of the headroom back there. Kind of gets a little claustrophobic feeling back there, but it's not the worst. It's not really my favorite thing. Fuel economy is really good. And really, the pros and cons, the negative, or one of the things on the pros and cons list are the looks. It's just something you either like or you don't like, or, you know, I would never personally buy a car like this because I'm torn. I don't know if I love it. I don't know if I hate it. And so if I have to make that decision every day, I'm just gonna be like, look, I don't want it. I don't want it at all. I look at my car and I love it. I bought it because I love it. I could look at it all day. I could have posters of it. This thing, that's all I'm gonna say. $38,000, I think that's a great price point for this. You don't get a lot of the safety features I wish BMW would just leave as standard, but you do get a couple key things, and of course having automatic emergency braking is vital. It saves you, it saves the other people, and if it doesn't save the car from an accident, it will at least limit or lower how much damage actually gets done, because it's going to brake faster than you can possibly brake, if you're not paying attention, that is. There's just a lot of fun to have with this car. I honestly would choose the X1 over this 10 times out of 10. Let's just leave it at that. But this is just a quick one to talk about a couple things. You know, like I said, I've already done this video, but I wanted to touch on this again since I had this car in my possession one more time. But this is exactly how I would kind of spec it out. There's not a whole lot more that I would do because you just start putting too much in this car and you're now in 3 Series territory, and you know, the X3 is right around the corner from this. So you want to be really careful with how you're speccing this thing out. That's all I got for you guys on this one. Thank you so much for checking out another quick little episode. I know it's nothing crazy. Just to give you guys some life updates, I will be moving and doing all sorts of different things in the next coming months. So I'll be kind of busy, and wow, that's a cool camera. I'll be kind of busy and sporadic with the videos. I apologize, but pretty soon things will be settled and good, and I'll be back to my normal weekly, twice a week videos, and we will have some fun, do some things, have some activities, get into some shenanigans. But in the meantime, bear with me. I appreciate you guys who are still watching. I will be back. Promise. Wait, no, that's if you're breaking promise. I promise. I'm trying to film out here and this tractor is just stupid.